Hello, and welcome to another edition of Talbot Talks, where we discuss key issues within the local church. My name is Steve Jin. I'm the manager of outreach here at Talbot School of Theology, and today I'm joined by Nell Sunukjian, who is a professor here in the Christian Ministry and Leadership Department. And I'm also joined by Leonard. She's a current Talbot student and also ministering with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She works largely with young ladies in 3 different South Central LA area high schools. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, today I want to talk about a ministry that's often overlooked and often misunderstood, and that's women's ministry. So today I'm really excited to have Nell here with me because Nell has over 40 years of women's ministry experience, including playing pivotal roles in 2 different women's ministry being established at 2 different churches. So what I would like to ask you today is, what is women's ministry? Can you define it for us? And what does it look like at the local church level?
Okay, women's ministry in the local church is a very apt question to ask, and the apostle asked that, the apostle Paul. And in a letter he wrote to Titus, he said, I want you to have a women's ministry in this church, Titus. The way he put it was this: he instructed Titus as a young pastor to teach the older women who were qualified, and then those women in turn would turn around and teach and train the younger women. So it seems to me that right from the time of the early church, women's ministry was to be part of the way that the church is structured. But it's definitely part of what God has intended. He's made women so that we need time together, and younger women look toward older women. They want to learn from them, and the older women have something to contribute to the women's lives. So every local church is going to want to have a women's ministry, and every women's ministry should include Bible study, because it's a great way for women to get together and learn. Many women find that it helps them in the discipline of just being in God's Word more. Women like to talk together and discuss God's Word, and I think when you have a discussion time, it helps the women take what they've heard in the teaching time and then apply it to their hearts and move it out even through their hands into their lives and ministry. So one component of, I think, every ideal women's ministry is going to be Bible study, a strong component.
Okay. Well, what I'm hearing from you now, and the 2 things that I caught from that just answer is, one, there's a sense of mentorship. We have older women mentoring younger women, and 2, obviously the study of the Word is very important. So here at Talbot, obviously we have a women's ministry emphasis within our Department of Christian Ministry and Leadership. So tell me, how are we equipping the women in our program here at Talbot to do the type of ministry that you spoke about at the local church?
Well, because we do think being able to teach a Bible study is so important, we ask each of our women in the women's emphasis to take preaching. Tatiana's in the preaching class right now.
Excellent.
And so they learn to construct a biblical message and to have some practice in giving it. In addition to that, of course, they take the normal 4 theology classes and the Bible classes that are required of all of our students, and that helps to prepare them. And then in my class, the Survey of Biblical and Historical Women in Ministry, I require each of the women to do 2 character studies of women in the older New Testament, including some research, and then standing up to teach that in the classroom. So that's one of the things that we're doing in our women's ministry emphasis here at Talbot.
I'm really encouraged by the amount of theology that the women study, as well as practical skills like preaching course, and also the pastoral care class. So I'm really encouraged to hear that. Now, Tatiana, you're a student in the program in women's ministry, and I know you work with young ladies. You conduct Bible studies with them outside of high school. So tell me about some of your experiences in the Talbot program and how that has helped you in your ministry there.
Well, first, the experience with Talbot women has just been so incredible to have a classroom full of women of different walks of life. And when I started the program, I was a single woman. And so to have women who are in ministry and serving in ministry, who have had children, who are married, is just to learn from their experience and to learn from their wealth of experience has been tremendous. And also to gain Nell as a friend and mentor has also just truly benefited my ministry and how I look at becoming a mom and a wife and how to balance being a woman and also having a calling to ministry. And so that relationships amongst the staff as well as my peers has been tremendous. And what we study amongst our classes, I feel like the girls I serve, they're receiving a Talbot education because whatever I learn, I'm just throwing back to them. For example, in our survey of historical women and biblical women, we did a Bible study on Solomon's wives, and they're a group of women that you don't really pay that much attention to because they're negative. And so I put together a Bible study for our young ladies and to look at Solomon's wives and how they pulled him away from God, and for us to be women to strive not to pull our mates away from God, but to encourage them and help them look towards God and to have a Christ-centered life. And so that was one practical thing that I took from our class and put together a dating Bible study for my young women.
Tatiana, I really appreciate what you just said. I see 3 generations of women mentoring one another. I see the older women here at Talbot mentoring you, and then you're now mentoring the younger ladies in your high school. So I really appreciate the biblical incarnational model of mentorship that's being played out both here at Talbot and in the ministry setting. Now, that's really exciting to hear. And I just feel like, wow, you know, there's somebody out there in the audience who's watching this video and they're thinking, you know, I have a women's ministry that I'm starting at my church. So what can Talbot provide in regards to resources? How can they help me in regards to my women's ministry? What are some thoughts that you have, Nell, in regards to that?
Well, certainly any woman who wants to come to Talbot and be trained is welcome to apply. We have a number of women who are not only as young as Tatiana, but also more experienced in life, who realize they want to come back to seminary to be trained.
Now, ladies, another hallmark of Talbot Talks is just simply practical advice. People are watching this video and they want to say, Nell, Tatiana, I'm working with women. What's one advice that you can give me right now that can help me in my current ministry with other women? So, Nell, I'll start with you.
Well, I'd say one thing that's very important is to start with prayer. Any woman who wants to work with women or is working with women, you can't do it on your own, and you can't do it without prayer. In the churches where I was part of a formational group in bringing women's ministry to life, we began with just a group of 2 or 3 women who met together to pray, to say, we're concerned about our church, it's growing, we want to see it have a women's ministry, what can we do to help? And we just met together and prayed, and sometimes we met together and prayed for several months before we took any action. I can remember vividly sitting around a pool in Austin with Marion and Judy and our feet dangling in the pool and sitting there praying and talking and what would women's ministry look like at the church. And so I think prayer is essential. And then I think for most churches the first step would probably be to start a local Bible study, because women thrive in a Bible study.
I see. Good, good. And Tatiana, what about you? What can you share with our audience today in regards to working with even younger ladies?
Just understanding how important the older mentoring the younger. And so it can, you know, if it's not a formal mentoring ministry, just to encourage some of the older women in the congregation to just kind of come alongside one of the younger women and just take them out to lunch. And it can just be something informal, but those relationships are so important. And a lot of the young adult women want to get involved. They just need someone to kind of give them a nudge or invite them to a Bible study or to invite them to a tea, whatever it is, but they want to get involved. And so with that prayer and then that invitation, God can definitely work within the hearts of all of the women who are invited to be a part of it.
Yeah. I'm really encouraged to hear that the answers seem to be somewhat similar. Start small. Start with 2 or 3. Start with one person that you can really make an impact on, and then from there something may blossom. Thank you to both of you for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
I think you spoke into an area of ministry that the church is, again, often neglected, even overlooked, so we thank you for that. So this has been Talbot Talks. Until next time, my name is Steve Jin, and please have a blessed day.